How's it going, everyone? This is Kenan, and today I'm bringing you my first ever Go Battle League video. This is a video about my Ultra League team here with Charizard, Venusaur, and Muk. So a lot of fan favorites here from the first generation, and also a very cheap team to build. Charizard and Venusaur, being starter Pokemon, only take 10,000 Stardust to unlock their second charge move. Muk takes 50,000, which is still quite a bit less than Giratina and the other legendaries that dominate this league. And in addition, these three Pokemon max out at about 2500 CP, around level 30, a little bit higher than level 30. So they're relatively cheap to power up. So let's jump into our first live match here. This is my first take at live commentary, so hopefully it will be tolerable. I think the most important thing with this team is actually winning the lead. This team, having a lot of the elemental types, is based around type advantages, and so in this case, we see a Lapras. So it's a part Ice type, which means this is not an Alpha lead. So it takes 4 Ice Shards for it to get to a Surf. So now I'm going to Sacrificial Swap here into my Venusaur. This will eat the Surf, no problem. And Venusaur will take super effective damage from the Ice type moves on Lapras. But this is not too bad because now we have an energy advantage. And I was expecting him to swap out here. Maybe he'll do the same right when I get to my Frenzy Plant. But no, it looks like he's going to let us get it off. So this is looking pretty good. I'm a bit surprised he's staying in here. That kind of tells me that he doesn't really have anything better in the back to handle my Venusaur. Or maybe he, for some reason, just doesn't want to give up switch advantage. So this might be a Surf bait, but because I'm getting low, I'm actually just going to shield this up either way. Yeah, so it is a Surf. That doesn't surprise me. But the reason I did that is because I didn't want him to farm me down. That Surf damage does add up, even if it's resisted against Venusaur. So this was one of the rare situations where I swapped out my lead. And the reason I did that is because I didn't think Charizard could stay in on that match. Lapras charges to Surf very fast. And if we lose the lead, then we're pretty likely to lose the game, actually. And that's just because, like I said, we're based on these type advantages. So here I'm going for the Blast Burn. I'm not messing around. I'm getting this thing out of here. Could maybe have gone for a Dragon Claw and then farm down. But I don't want this thing in here because I don't want it getting to another Surf. And I don't want him messing around and switching out. So now we're 2-2. I'm up a shield, which is great. So even though we... Okay, but now it would have been to have the... Okay, but he overfarms here, which is interesting. It would have been nice to have the Venusaur here. But because he overfarmed, this actually gives us a chance to get back in the game. And that's because now our Muk can take this out. And we win the CMP tie there, which is great. So I'm just going to let my Charizard go down. And I'm just going to hope that Muk can handle whatever's in the back here. And the reason I'm choosing to let Charizard go down instead of Muk is because I think that in general, these teams tend to have like Giratina in the back. And Muk is a great counter for Giratina, but I'm kind of rolling the dice here. So I lost track of his energy as I was commentating. Let's see here. Oh, perfect. Even better, a Charm user. So this one, no problem. We're going to take it out. And what I should have done here actually is I should have overfarmed more so that I could get to my Dark Pulse right away. So this gives him a chance to win if he can get to the Earthquake before. It's going to be really close. We'll see here. So it looks like he's going to get it. Unless this is a Hydro Cannon. We should be able to survive a Hydro Cannon, but I'm guessing this is an Earthquake. Yeah, so he got us here. Not a great endorsement for my play, but I can point out what I did wrong there, which was not overfarming against the Togekiss. That should have been an easy win for me. And you can see there that even though we lost the lead, and we lost a Venusaur, so it couldn't take on a Swampert, so we didn't get the type matchups that we wanted, we were still able to make that a close game and really should have won it. So hopefully we'll do a little bit better in the second game here, and hopefully we'll get better at this live commentary and live playing. So the reason I like this team is, like I said, it's fun and it's very cheap to build, because I know that a lot of people in Ultra League are, you know, maybe struggling to get like Giratina or Registeel. Maybe they just don't have the rare candy or don't even have that Pokemon. So I think this team is a good alternative for that. As you can see, I am in rank 9, and here's a perfect situation. Charizard hard counter is Registeel. He's going to swap out right away here, and let's see what he brings in. An Articuno. Okay, so we're actually going to stay in on this and try to get both of his shields here. And the reason is that I don't particularly like what I have in the back against Articuno. Charizard is my best answer for Articuno, But on the other hand, we're definitely going to make sure that we don't let this Articuno take us out. We're just going to get both shields and then dip out, most likely for Muk. And the reason for this is because we want to keep our Charizard healthy for dealing with that Registeel later. We can basically take it out in one hit. Oh wow, he still beats us to the second Icy Wind, even though... wow, I'm actually very surprised by this. So he's actually going to end up getting both of our shields. So that's not great. I thought that because I had the energy advantage coming in on from Registeel that we were going to do better here. But at least we get both of his shields as well. And now I'm going to do a quick swap out into Muk, and we'll be able to take this down with a Dark Pulse. Okay, so we're still in a good situation here because we have the Charizard for the Registeel. Unfortunately, our Muk is now switch locked with no shields against whatever he brings in. But I'm hoping it's going to be the Registeel. Okay, so it is. So then this means that he probably has Giratina in the back, just because he didn't bring in the other Pokemon. If it was like a Swampert, for example, he would have brought that in. So that puts us in a kind of bad situation because this Registeel is going to take out our Muk, and then we don't have a great answer for his Giratina. That being said, we still have a fully healthy Venusaur, which can do a surprising amount of damage to Giratina. And Charizard has Dragon Claw, which at least deals fairly cheap, super effective damage. So let's get another Dark Pulse off here, and then we'll bring in our Charizard and hope to farm up some energy. So I could actually swap out here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because if he does have the Giratina in the back, then we want to make sure that we have our Muk to deal some nice super effective damage there. Now, let's see here. So we barely survived this Flash Cannon, but Registeel is not so great for farming down. Oh, it's actually an Armored Mewtwo, so Muk does very well against that too. Unfortunately, Armored Mewtwo wrecks our Venusaur. So that's not a great situation. But if we can get this Dark Pulse off, and we don't even get that. Okay.